Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. And before we dive deeper, what I would like to do is ask. Excuse me, it's something on my. Okay. Um, what I would like to do is ask everybody to come together and let's be mindful, have a mindful moment, and get in the moment of the purpose that we are here, what we are expecting to receive today, and starting this day off and possibly um, changing some things in our lives for the rest of our lives, connecting and promoting one another. So at this time, one of the things, if you could do me a favor and just kind of close your eyes for a minute. I'm not very deep into meditation and things like that, but I do have my way of getting myself centered and in the moment that I'm in for whatever I'm trying to focus on. So as we focus on this morning, if you can just kind of close your eyes and just listen to the words I say. This is May and it's National Mental Health Month. And right now, I want you to focus on your mind, your mental health, and just kind of as you breathe in your nose to the count of 4 and exhale slowly to the count of 4. Find yourself in a place of quiet, calm, and resolve. And note that anxiety is the cousin to worry and fear. Breathe in deeply. And release the anxiety, the fear, and the worry. I'm sure that by now you've already exhaled. Breathe in again. Tap in to everything that is good, everything that is lovely, and what you would like to receive today. And let go of the worries. Master your mind. And as you breathe in the last time, open your eyes and exhale. Exhale is letting go of all of the things that would keep you from being mentally present in your moments in a healthy way. Very good. I hope that helps somebody. Okay, so Erin Hoffman,
I'm up.
you're up.
All right. I'm on the screen in front of you. If you are not driving, if you're driving, please don't think about the screen. What we are about with Gateway to Dream is a community to inspire dreams into action and to be a model to change the world. I know that sounds a little grandiose, but if we can help St. Louis become a better community, my goodness, the whole world will look at us. So that has been my dream. Our mission is to inspire action and give voice and clarity to the dreams of individuals, creating a ripple effect that positively impacts the social and economic well-being of our community. And I want to add a little bit in here right now. I've been thinking a lot about my friend Tracy Flay, how her favorite story is the starfish story. And I'm sure everyone on the call has heard it. It's about the little boy picking up starfishes and throwing them into the ocean, back into the ocean. They're on the beach. And this older man comes by and goes, you can't save them all. And you can't really make a difference. And the little boy says, but I did to that one, is he throws one in. I think about our ripple and the people whose lives we're impacting, how each one is a starfish, that it has a ripple. So, we're not just another networking group. We really care about our community. We care about our members having a a more positive life, that they feel supported. And Anissa, when you mentioned mental health month, all of us may have times in our life when our mental health has been threatened. Mine has been. It bothered a lot in the last couple of years with things that have happened in my life. And what keeps me going is a beautiful, loving community. And so, that's part of what Gateway is all about. So we want to inspire you to go for your dreams with a community of support. And it does affect our community. And I think there's another thing that will come up, another screen. We have a value system. And one of them, for those that are new, that have never been on a call, it's to love more, judge less. It's really easy to turn around and pass judgment on someone we don't know. What we're asking as a community is to have your heart open, not to judge. And I'm sure many of you have had an experience that I've had where maybe when I first met someone, I didn't feel close to them, but when I got to know their story and got to know more about them, I fall in love with people. I love people, but sometimes when I first meet someone, maybe I don't feel loving. So we're asking to love more, judge less. We believe that there are always positive possibilities, and it can be contagious, just like being negative can be contagious. We believe in heart smart connections and collaboration. And I love Lady E. We asked her to share what Gateway has meant to her, and she's kind of changed my thinking when we ask people about what Gateway has meant to them, is to ask them about the people they've met, ask them about the people they've connected with and how those people have impacted their lives. And Lady E, you just blew me away that one day when you took a list and you started reading off Michelle Petralia and Jenny Grace and all these people that, it's about helping one another with heart smart connections. Pay it forward. We're always looking to serve one another. It will happen for us. Can we still go back just a second for the our values? Okay, so energetic empathy, really listening. That is a way to build strong relationship. Using positive language. I used to be someone who would go around and say, I suck at technology. And when we started working on empowering language, I changed it to I'm learning to use technology. It's a different energy. It can change your life by using empowering and positive language. It's also words heal, words hurt. So empowering language around others. We're going to add another value to our list, and it's about our strengths, that we are an organization that believes we should live from our strengths. Don't try to make your weaknesses stronger. If they're weaknesses, I personally don't think God wants you to do your weaknesses. I think God has a magic wand and he goes, you get this gift and you get this gift and you get this gift, and we're supposed to use those gifts. Okay, now you can go to the next page. When Gateway to Dreams was founded, we had a group of entrepreneurs, primarily women and a couple of guys, that would meet every Wednesday from 1 to 2:30 to brainstorm what Gateway could look like. Karen Garcia was one of our ambassadors that helped. We call them launch ambassadors. We lost her in 2019, but we want her to live forever through random acts of kindness. We also believe in the book Pay It Forward. If you've not read the book, it's all about how we can change the world. If all of us just took on 3 significant acts in our lifetime, not a day, not a year, in your lifetime, can you do 3 significant things? And I would say everyone on this call probably has already done that, but it's to be intentional. And especially here in St. Louis, how can we pay it forward? And so that's that slide. And the next slide is our amazing facilitator. When we first started this a year ago, almost every person except Tiffany didn't know what we were doing on Zoom. So Tiffany stepped up and said she would be our facilitator and help us. And bless you, Tiffany. We love you, Tiffany. With Lone Orange, if you need help in social media and around Zoom and all things kind of marketing, if she doesn't do it, she knows someone that can help you. And next, every month we offer an opportunity to be a meeting sponsor. This month it's going to be Amy Lemire, and we will have Lady E tell us about Amy before Amy speaks.
Okay, okay. Amy Lemire. Amy helps sales and success-driven stars crush their results so they can live a life of peace and leave a life of and leave a life of stress to be the best version of themselves. Amy is the president and CEO of AIM Training and Consulting Incorporated. She is the author of Amazon #1 bestseller, From Zero to Sales Hero and From Zero to Speaker Hero. Amy began her journey as a sales strategist, trainer, and keynote speaker over 25 years ago. She has been recognized as a top MedTech Fortune 50 sales performer, speaker, facilitator, and international sales trainer. She is a success habit finder coach certified through the Og Mandino Group and Leadership Institute. Amy is a distinguished Toastmaster, a professional member of the National Speakers Association, and served on the board of directors, National Speakers Association, Chicago, Illinois, and St. Louis chapters. She has also served as the Dean of Speakers Academy, NSA Illinois and NSA St. Louis, to help aspiring speakers succeed and profit in the business of professional speaking. And at this time, is Amy with us now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Welcome, Amy.
Good morning, Lady E. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. And as I was looking at my calendar, it was amazing because I just realized it was 3 years ago that I woke up and I realized how stuck I was in my life. I was in a job I wasn't happy in. I was in a marriage I wasn't happy in. But the worst part about it is I had all these excuses. I told myself it's my age, it's the stage of life I'm in. This just happens. We lose our happiness. But then I began to study something called thought habits, and it changed my life. From that time, I studied the habits, and today I want to share a tip with all of you. And it's this: there are 5 ways that we damage our self-esteem and our self-confidence. Number 1, expectations. Number 2, comparison. Number 3, secrets, also known as addictions. Number 4, doing versus being, the overachiever. And number 5 is too busy to be. Once I got clear about what those habits were that were holding me back, my whole life changed. And I'll just tell you today, I am happy. I also feel like I reclaimed my power once I got off that cycle of obligation and got away from the things that were keeping me unhappy and, quite honestly, stuck. Today, I want to invite all of you to my next masterclass on June 10th. It is free. And I also want to thank Lady E and Michelle. They joined the last class that I had a couple weeks ago. And also some of my clients that I've worked with, Carrie and also Tracy. I'm not sure if Tracy's on today. That the experience of moving from being stuck to experiencing success is a choice, it's a decision, and it takes 3 things: awareness, action, and accountability. I come in at the accountability piece because there's no way I would have done it on my own a couple years ago. I had a coach and I had support. Last but not least, I want to let you all know that you can also take an assessment to assess, are you stuck or are you experiencing success? And as my gift to all of you, I will spend 30 minutes with you to help you understand what the assessment says. I'll put that assessment link in the chat box. And I want to say thank you all for the opportunity today. And I'm so excited to be a part of this group. And Karen, thank you so much for opening my door to the gateway to dreams. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you, thank you. You just gave us a whole lot to think about just now with the points that you made. So thank you, Amy, for being our sponsor for this month. And now it's time for the getting to know you. What is your name? Who are you? What are you doing? Where are you going? All of that good stuff. In the chat should be, well, on the screen is the script, and We're going to break out in a few minutes, but we're going to give you we're going to give you a minute. I know it's not a lot of time to come up with to be able to fill in these questions. And I will demonstrate to you to the best of my ability. This is where, Amy, I get stuck all the time when I try to do this. So, and then we're going to break out into breakout rooms, and the facilitator in each oh my God, what is the facilitator? The facilitator in each breakout room will be the person with the closest birth date to today. So when you get to your breakout room, whoever has the closest birthday will have to be the facilitator. And you don't have long, so you have 1 minute when you're in your breakout room, to introduce and say who you are, what you're doing. So here we go. Hi, my name is Enezer, affectionately known as Lady E. I am the founder of Imagery International and Ease to Access, which is Awaken Consciousness Coaching, Empowerment, and Speaking Services. I specialize in women's empowerment, coaching, speaking, and leadership training through the John Maxwell platform. I am looking for connectors who can connect me with people with growth mindset, clients or otherwise, people to help me to grow as well. In my professional life, I need clients. I need to build my platform so that people know who I am. And so they would get in on my masterminds and my webinars and everything that I'm aspiring to do. My personal life, I need my grandson to get a clue. I am not looking to purchase anything. I've invested deeply, and right now I am looking for a return on some of my investments. And my dream is to add value to as many people as I possibly can. That's what I was born for. And that's who I am. And so I believe at this time we will go to breakout rooms and.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to hit the magic. You'll have a blue magic button that pops up and it'll whisk you away into your breakout room. Just click on that button and it will take you there. Just a reminder, everybody has 1 minute to talk. So make sure you talk quickly, and then if there's time left over, you'll be able to chat. I'll put a comment in the breakout room. I'll put a prompt in there so that you know when we're about to close. All right, here we go.
Okay. Oh, Heidi, it's not letting me move my screen.
Neither you are muted.
I think we need that cup. Where's the cup?
Okay. Okay. Missy Coleman, it's time for Dream Tank.
Tiffany, it's not letting me forward.
Edda is saying she's having trouble getting back in, I think, too, Edda.
Yes. So Missy, you said what?
It's not letting me forward again, and I forgot what you said I need to do.
Oh, well, for right now, Heidi has the PowerPoint, right? So for right now, we're good?
No, Missy has it because
I
it
have
wouldn't
it.
come over.
Got it. Are you able to at least share it then?
I'm sharing it right now, but it's not letting me advance it.
Ah, okay. So you'll have to hover over.
All right. Well, welcome again, ladies. This month for our Dream Tank, we have our fabulous Karen Hoffman, who is going to talk about her new passion and what is driving her now. And I'm so excited to hear about Be the Change. So, Karen, take it away.
I've got to share that a couple of weeks ago, I was on a call with Les Landis, and we were talking about a program that I was doing for another group called Experts for Entrepreneurs. And we were looking over our notes from last year. And my goal for the meeting, it ended up being canceled because of COVID. But my goal with Les was that Gateway to Dreams would be able to reach thousands instead of hundreds. So I said that, wrote that over a year ago, and didn't remember it until Les and I were on this call together. This past year and a half has been a really challenging one for me personally. And I believe that God has used that challenge in my life for me to help create this new publication, Be the Change St. Louis, because I don't think if I hadn't had some of the pain and things I've gone through that I would have slowed down enough to create this publication. So I have to just give a preface that I believe God has guided me to do this publication for our community with all of you. So Be the Change St. Louis. Why? Why do we need it? We have hundreds of people who come to Gateway to Dreams through the year. Not all of them are members. Most of them are guests. And we wanted a way where more people would hear about the amazing people here in St. Louis, like Pookie Lee and her song, I Am Responsible, which we sing for those of you who have never been on here, this may be the only networking group that sings a song at the end about being responsible. Erica Williams with her nonprofit, We All Bleed Red. Like, I wanted a way to tell this story to more people. So our first issue comes out at the end of this month. We are printing 5,000 copies, 5,000 color copies. And they will be, some of them will be mailed. Most of them will be a pickup through our sponsors and our advertisers and other groups we network with. We really care that the HR community takes an interest in us, because if people love their jobs, if we provide ideas and ways that jobs are better, people who have jobs will love going to work. We're going to share stories about things that we can do in the community. We want our community to change. We want it to be more loving and kind. So when we decided that I would do Dream Tank, which I don't think I've done before for Gateway, it is about you guys possibly helping us with ideas for advertisers and sponsors. And if you want to be an advertiser, we've tried to make the rates low. A full page is $500, which may sound like a lot, but when you check with other publications, it's not. We have pages where we're specialty pages for coaches, specialty pages for authors, specialty pages for anything we can think of that will help you advertise for even less, which would be $100 per listing on a specialty page. And so I think I'm supposed to shut up and let you guys, share any ideas you might have for Gateway, and you can put them in the chat or you can speak them out loud. Right, Missy?
Yes.
Am I doing
yes.
okay? All right. So take it away.
Okay. Karen, when is the deadline?
The end of next week.
Okay. So thank you, Karen and Missy, for the Dream Tank. And now,
and Aneezer, if I may, really quick, because I was so excited about hearing Karen speak, I forgot to let everybody know Dream Tank is something that we do every month. So if somebody has a dream, a business idea that they're working on and want some support and suggestions from the community, they can reach out to Karen and let her know so that they can get on and have that opportunity to share what they're doing. And with that, you get 3 minutes to speak. And yeah, so we hope to see you on here.
Did you say that we're we have a nonprofit and a not-for-profit? So we every other month we alternate.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to move along, and today we have we have an educational speaker. Her name is Marcy Bursack. I hope I said that correctly. And we are eager to hear what she has to say. And just to let the speakers know, you have 15 minutes. And 5 minutes before your 15 minutes is up, Missy is going to let you know you have 5 minutes. So Marcy Bursick is an adoptive mom of a sibling pair, the author of the Forgotten Adoption Option and the host of the Forgotten Adoption Option podcast. Her heart for adoption comes from participating in service projects with orphans and hearing her husband's story of his grandfather being orphaned in St. Louis at age 7, but never being adopted. Would you all please welcome with me, Marcy Bursick. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. And you got my name right. You nailed it. So I'm going to try to swivel. Oh, I can't use. Okay, I had prepared a slideshow. May I not take over the screen?
You've got it.
Okay, perfect. Now I can do it. Thank you. I'm going to click some buttons and then it's going to be beautiful. I'm so excited to be here. And I have to tell you that one of the things that resonated with me this morning was hearing about the one starfish, the little boy and the starfish. And what I'm going to share with you is how I started a business for my passion. And I remember talking to my husband. I don't know if you all have had this moment with anything in your life, but I was keenly aware, being an adoptive mom of 2 kiddos that are biologically related, that there are not a lot of people that realize you can adopt through foster care. Most people think, well, foster care is where kids go back with their biological families. And that is true. It is true 50% of the time. And what happened for me, kind of as Karen alluded to her COVID experience, I had COVID also. And I remember being in my bedroom, shaking my fist, going to bed, being like, why is nobody doing this? Why is nobody speaking on behalf of 120,000 children that are in our country who need a forever family? And I found myself talking to my husband, who said, Marcy, if you do something that helps one kid, I think all your efforts are worth it. So that's where I am today. I launched in November with a book, but what's exciting about today especially is currently May is National Foster Care Month. So bringing awareness to foster care is incredible. And then on Monday, not only is it Memorial Day, it is also Foster Parent Appreciation Day. So if you happen to know a foster parent in your life, or if you've ever considered or know someone, please do something special, even just like a text message or a thank you, to let people know that you're thinking and caring about them during this particular season. So just some fun ways to meet my family. The left photo is the first family photo my children and I took together. We have been living together for 18 months before this photo was taken. I kind of love like the sass in that. So I'm like, we lived together before we shared a last name. It was great. The right photo is last fall. So I currently have a 4th grade daughter and a 5th grade son. They are biological siblings and they are from Missouri. They were born 5 hours away. So my husband and I used to drive a 10-hour round trip once a month in order for them to have a 2-hour visit. It was kind of a wild ride. But what happened, where I was shaking my fist and realizing why isn't someone done something about this, is I realized my husband and I had known well before we got married we wanted to adopt. We weren't having any infertility issues that we could think that we would have in the future, but we knew because of his grandfather's experience that we wanted to adopt children. And I came from a very large family. I thought a sibling pair was a fantastic idea. My husband, his grandfather was 7 years old when he was orphaned, and he thought, you know, if somebody just would have given him a chance. I realized he wasn't a warm and fuzzy baby, but like he was a person. And so his thought was, let's adopt an older child. And I said, well, if we're going to ever do 2, let's just do them together. But what ended up happening is, because there's a lack of information in this space, it took me 5 years to figure out this was even a thing and how to do it. So I've tried to consolidate that. Right now, my audiobook reads in 90 minutes. So it super shrinks down the how and helps people walk through the process. So to give you a concept of what I've discovered, if you look at this very bottom line, this is such a great visual. You can look at their 3 different paths to adopt. There's domestic, where you adopt an infant in our country. There's international, where you're adopting a child or children from another country. And there's foster care adoption. Now, somehow this gets overlooked. It's the most affordable and the fastest way to adopt, but very little do people even know that foster care and adoption go together as like a phrase. And do they know that it's so affordable and such a great, great need? And what I think is interesting is, as you think about your passion, and I think about mine, and I think about foster care. This is literally a slide that augments my book, talking about the fears of why people don't adopt. And I thought, this is exactly why we don't pursue our passion. So let's just talk about it, right? We don't pursue our passion because we're afraid to get emotionally invested. We're afraid for our heart to be on the line. Like, why would I take something so core to who I am and share that with the world? There's so much at risk, right? Why would I put any money into this? What if it fails? What if I have to wait a long time and nothing transpires? And the shadow piece, I think, is interesting. Shadows being, what if there's something you don't want someone to know about you? Or what if you don't want to fail and you're just super afraid that somehow this thing that maybe isn't your strength is going to be in the spotlight because you're putting yourself out there with your passion. So how do we overcome our fears? Well, what I did, and what I hope encourages and inspires you, is I looked at what was working. Now, what I had working that I didn't realize was right under my roof, literally, is because I had walked through this process, and 18 months in, my husband and I weren't legally the parents of our kids yet, and we started blogging, and we had a lot of readership, and it would take off. It was insane. I would publish an article, and hundreds of readers later, within an hour, like it was amazing. Well, then what happened over time is a friend of a friend would call up, actually the friend would call up and say, hey, Marcy, my friend or my cousin or my whatever relative or friend, they're considering this. They don't understand how. Can you talk to them? Sure. I'd have them over for 2 hours. My husband and I would sit down with them, explain the whole process. It was messy because this is foster care and adoption. And so it's not like concrete and like all of these 3 steps. There's like 52, but you can follow them and it all works. And what happened is, I remember at one point, my husband, not trying to be discouraging, we had a couple leave our home and he said, I think they're overwhelmed with what we just shared with them. And I said, well, did I overwhelm them because I spoke quickly, or did I overwhelm them because I shared a lot of information? And he said, it might have been both of those things, Marcy. And I thought, oh no, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Like maybe this isn't happening. And then as God was trying to work in my heart, what's amazing is as I asked myself, whatever happened to those couples? Did we turn them off? No, each and every one of them either has adopted by now or is in the process. And so it wasn't a lack of how I as a person was getting in the way. I was just a conduit to share information. And so how could I scale that? How could I scale having people in my home? Well, I was doing it like 1 dozen times a year, but it's a pandemic. You can't have people in your home, and you can do Zoom, but it's just not the same. And so I had made a commitment last August. I was going to write my book in the month of August. I got finished with my draft in 25 days. So I beat my deadline by 6 days, and I brought this book to life. And part of how I brought it to life is this final question here of who can I lean on for support? Well, very quickly, I took advantage of a couple free consultations. I met with a publishing coach, and she was able to say, hey, don't wait until your book is out there to get endorsements. So I was like, noted, I can go attack my endorsements and like be persistent in that space. I also met with people that were entrepreneurs, that were authors, and just picked their brain and said, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I have like a pseudo board where I have individual friends that are very, very committed to this endeavor. They're committed to me, they're committed to these children. And so they're people that I can Facebook message and say, hey, can you proof this for me? Or, hey, can you help me solve this problem? Or, hey, I'm in front of these politicians in our state because Missouri has this big gap in our budget that's preventing, this is quite mind-boggling. It's preventing families from adopting the 1,500 kids in our state. So I'm working on that advocacy effort, just kind of uncovered it in the middle of all this. So I hope that thinking about your own heart and overcoming, just acknowledging there's fear in that. We took that moment at the beginning to really center ourselves and to realize anxiety and fear are cousins, right? But recognizing those are normal things. It's okay to be afraid, right? But had I not overcome that, I wouldn't be doing this now. Your passion, I did some research in Newpreneur, and this wonderful list of like 15 things about why your passion is critical to starting your business. So it leads you, right? It inspires your vision. It helps you really stand on your legs in that space because you're the expert. And because you're leading from your heart, it brings this authenticity. that you can't find anywhere else, right? Like it's one thing to say, okay, well, I'm supposed to go sell this widget because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm at Instacart and this is what I do. But I don't know about you all. I've had the Instacart driver who drops off the things with a note and a blow pop because not only, maybe she didn't invent Instacart, but she's loving what she's doing and she's over exuding her excitement to serve you in that way in such a small but important role in the community. So here's where I am today. So again, I launched in November. In December, I was brainstorming and vetted it past a couple adoptive parents and said, what if I did a podcast? And I'm now to the point that my podcast is getting asks from people all across the country to be on it. I've got an adoptive mom. You may have seen the couple recently that they adopted a sibling set of 7 due to a car accident. She's coming on my podcast this summer, and tomorrow drops an episode with Sherry Hersey, who she was Al's girlfriend in Home Improvement, if you all remember Home Improvement from the 90s. And she recently created a musical called Lily's Light, the movie. And it's all about the positivity we can find when we look at becoming a foster parent or adopting kids from foster care. The other thing that I've done just last week, actually, just listening to people saying, hey, how do we help move this forward, is I started a private Facebook community. I toyed with doing an email as a way to engage the people that I'm targeting, but for this particular issue,
Thank you,
Missy. For this particular issue, being able to get an email felt kind of flat because this is really a conversation where people can dialogue, learn, and share. And so the Facebook community is soaring. Just within a week's time, we're at 60 members, and there's thriving, wonderfully heartfelt and raw conversation. So as I wrap up, these are just some ways you can contact me. I am very eager to share this message and to encourage you on your own business journey. I have a website, I'm on Instagram, and I have my podcast. As I mentioned, it drops episodes twice a month. And so I actually plan to buffer a couple minutes if anyone wanted to drop any questions into the chat, but I'm really hopeful that if you didn't know before, hopefully you now know that we have a great need in our country. There are 120,000 children who are waiting for an adoptive family. And I think what often, this can feel like a number, this can feel like that's an overwhelming amount of people, Marcy, yeah. But if one kid gets adopted, that's one kid that has a permanent loving family. And furthermore, if we reverse it, if one kid doesn't get adopted, they're aging. And so every day that we're not addressing this issue, they're getting older. And the data shows that people are not as eager to adopt older teenage youth as they are to adopt the younger kids. So I urge us to take an effort to bring awareness to this issue. And I hope that as you've seen how I've mobilized my passion, that it's encouraged you to maybe step out or think about things in a different way.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know when they put me on mute. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Marcy. Anyone have any questions or?
I don't have per se a question, but being also an adoptive mother, it was probably the best experience of my life. So like Marcy, I encourage anyone thinking about it, or if you know anyone thinking about it, it is an amazing experience. And you know, they are your family. And Marcy, your kids are beautiful. They look like you gave birth to them. So
thank you. We say when you love people, you start looking like them.
Exactly.
And Missy, you bring up a good point. In my Facebook group this morning, we were talking about like, what are the fears? What inhibits people from adopting through foster care? And one thing that came up is this common misconception that, well, they're in foster care, so they probably have baggage and they could have these like issues later, and right? And my husband had come to the same conclusion with me because I was freaking out before, like, what, this person's gonna live with us, and like, we're committing to them. And he said this, he said, Marcy, it's the same risk if we were to biologically have children. So I don't know why we're worried and are treating a child that went through foster care any different than if we were to just birth a baby. Like, it's the same risks and the same potential, right? There's always positives that we can look at.
Exactly. I think the funniest conversation I had with my boss when I was adopting my son Max, and mind you, I did get him when he was a baby. He just turned 21 a few months ago. but he's like, Missy, he's like, you don't know what you're getting when you have one, let alone when you pick one out. I said, well, I said, then it's 50-50 no matter what. So
Very true.
you just don't know.
Karen,
I
were you
was
gonna say
Mar.
something? Oh, go on, Jenny.
No, I just want to ask Marcy a question, which was because I, when I was going to do foster, we had to go through a MAP program. I don't know if that's here in Missouri. This was in North Carolina. And, but there, when I adopted my daughter, it wasn't in this country. So we had to go to a judge that was very liberal in giving and saying it was okay, because we had somebody who is 57 years old adopting. I don't know if there's an age limit here for, you know, how old, you know, they don't want you to be over a certain age.
That's a great question, Jenny. There is no age limit. It's actually one of the other, like, when you read my book and you look at what the fears are, people say I'm too old, but the kids also think, well, I'm too old, I'll never get adopted. And adults, we can convince ourselves that we're too old, but it's like, think about it, right? Like, if you had a relative or a neighbor and they passed away for some unfortunate reason, and that child, regardless of the age, needed a home, like, you might be their next of kin, and who cares what your age was? So the same rule applies with foster care, that we just need caring adults to sign up.
Mhm.
Perfect. Karen, were you going to say something?
Jana was first. Let's Jana go and then me. Jana Gamble.
Thank you. Hi, Marcy. I just wanted to say I'm so proud of you for doing this. And also, my mom was a foster parent my entire, like, from 5th grade on. So we had over 50 foster children in and out of our home. We did respite care, etc. Our very first foster child was my brother at 6.5 months old. We adopted 2, and many others in the community became our kids in foster care. And I've done projects with another organization I want to align you with, Marcy, from LA, which is Kids in the Spotlight. And that's with Tai Chi Charity, and they work with foster children and they teach kids film. It's an amazing, amazing organization. So I'm just proud of you, and I can't wait.
Perfect.
I would just love to say the visuals that you provided, I love them. My daughter actually has adopted 2 children internationally, and you know her, Marcy. And I wonder, you know, had she seen your book, not that I adore my babies, so no, I don't want anything, but for more people to know what you've shared. And I think that your visuals just are beautiful to go along with helping us understand this. So thank you. And thank you for, I know you have a time crunch and you actually worked this out to be on this call to share your story and how it pertains to not only the adoption, but us entrepreneurs that feel called. You and your husband, God put you together for a reason. You were both called. Thank goodness. Can you imagine if one of you was called and the other one wasn't? It's so much harder. So I just want to thank you for what you provided for us today.
So encouraging, really appreciate that. And little fun fact, my husband's actually an elementary art teacher, so he's my creative director. So when I needed like a book cover, I had to tell my artist like some vision, and I was like, honey, give me some color. He's like, okay, here are your palette, go tell the artist. So I will let him know that you loved the presentation.
Loved it, loved it.
Encouraging to be here, and thank you for all the feedback and encouragement.
I'm one of your biggest fans now. I just want, in fact, I've already been on Facebook. We have to take this, Tiffany. We have to share this on Facebook, this whole thing, so everybody knows it. So you've already got that coming to you.
Sounds good. I think Cindy Dooley wanted to make a comment too, real quick. She's had her hand
Yeah,
raised.
I'm actually coming from the other side. I was adopted. I didn't go through the foster system, but I was adopted at birth. And, you know, I've been pro-life, you know, my whole life, because what if adoption or abortion was legal in 62? I might not be here. So I've always said, I don't understand why people would have an abortion when they could put the baby up for adoption. Especially since there are people that are willing to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get a baby. They put you up somewhere nice and feed you and clothe you for 9 months, and it doesn't make sense. So
Thank you.
Well,
Mary
it
Lee?
takes,
Well, you actually picked up on what I was going to say, Karen. I was going to say you are so giving, and your heart is so amazing, and you didn't even ask us for anything. And I was going to ask on your behalf that we all go and like your Facebook page and share it and share your information, so that we can help a lot more people.
Please, please. I just dropped, there's the podcast coming tomorrow. So anything you can do to share, like that's awareness. You just let someone know and God does the rest.
That's right.
yes, okay, cool.
Thank you, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, the world needs more people like you with the heart for what you do, because it's so very much needed. And thank God for you and for what you're doing, and continue. Okay, ladies, it's time to stretch a little bit. We're going to move a little bit. Stretch your legs for about 3 minutes, and we will be back in about 3 minutes so we can continue to rock our moxie.
And hear from Bridget Kosser. Yay!
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I hope you all got some adrenaline going, and let's move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Bridget Kosser. Bridget Kosser has been singing and working with energy throughout her life as an experienced performer, certified Reiki master, and energy intuitive. She is well known for her dynamic, powerful, and soul-touching performances, as well as the energy protocol she has developed as the Freedom Work, helping people, especially women, set themselves free from the inside. In 2014, Bridget experienced a brainstem stroke, which turned out to be an incredible blessing because it clarified a condition that had been previously misdiagnosed. Trusting the process took on a whole new meaning for her. So ladies, let's welcome Bridget Kosser. Welcome, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. This is an interesting topic for me to be speaking on anywhere. And thanks for asking me, Karen, because I think not a lot of people know about it or remember that I had a stroke. And there's a couple of things that I'd like to share about it. First of all, I want to give a little brief synopsis about how I experienced the stroke, some important things about recognizing that you're having a stroke, and then some really interesting pieces about it that have impacted my life since then. So it was in 2014, about a week before my birthday, my 51st birthday, that I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and rolled over to turn on the light, and the right side of my body was flopping around and it wouldn't work. So I went to get out of bed and my legs were not really supporting me. So I kind of like leaned against the bed. And after a few minutes, I was able to stand. And thankfully, my bathroom is very close to my bed. So I'm going to the bathroom, and then I noticed the right side of my face felt droopy, which made me think about a lady I knew who had Bell's palsy back when I was a teenager. I'm like, do I all of a sudden have Bell's palsy? And then noticed I had multiple vision on in the right eye, not my left eye, my right eye. And so what did this girl do when she went back to bed? She did not call 911. She Googled her symptoms on her iPad and realized that, oh, look, it could be a TIA, which is a mini stroke, or a stroke. And I fell asleep, sitting up, looking at my iPad. When I woke up, probably 2 or 3 hours later, my vision in my right eye was still not right. And I knew that I'd had at least a TIA, if not a full out stroke. So
Oh, we lost you.
there we go. I don't know, somehow I got muted. Did you hear everything? It's pretty quick.
You were saying when you woke up,
So when I woke up, I was pretty sure I'd had a stroke or a mini stroke, and called my son to take me to the ER. So I want to pause there and say, if you think that you are having a stroke now, I wasn't speaking to anyone, so I didn't know if my speaking was affected, because that's a big sign that you're having a stroke when you're not able, like a lot of times people say that when someone's having a stroke, they're saying stuff, but it's coming out as garbled things you can't understand. I did not have that sign, but that's something to pay attention to. So went to the ER, believe it or not, at Big Barnes, got right in there at 8 o'clock on a Thursday morning. Hello, thank you. And found out that because I had woken up with the stroke, they didn't know exactly when it started. So there is a medication they give you, which will hopefully stop the stroke and prevent some of the results of the outcome of stroke. They wouldn't have given it to me because they did not know when my stroke actually began. So thank God that was not something that I caused for myself, because I didn't call 911. So for anybody else, I would have called 911. I didn't do it for myself, and I learned a big lesson there. So once in the hospital, I was admitted, and my stroke actually, now I was taught not to own it as mine. The stroke that I was experiencing, they said it was complete the next morning when my vision finally resolved. The multiple vision that I was having in my right eye was resolved. So I went home the next day, the next afternoon, evening, and then ended up having more symptoms again. And let me tell you what some of the symptoms are. Yes, so I had this weakness on the right side, and not like pins and needles, like when you wake up that your foot's asleep or your arm's asleep, but that it was actually limp, where like the muscles wouldn't work. Sometimes you'll feel it in your face. Your face will feel droopy because the muscles just are not working properly. And then I'll tell you some of the other symptoms of brainstem TIAs in a couple of minutes. So I ended up having new symptoms, and they said if I'd had that more than a minute at a time to call the hospital, and they had me come back. So when I finally went through all the tests, they did a femoral angiogram, which is a very interesting thing. And I was able to see like all of the arteries in my head, in my brain. And they showed me like specifically where I had the stroke. And here's an important piece, that it's a stroke and nobody wants to have a stroke. Had I not had this stroke, I would have never known that the diagnosis they had given me years ago for Meniere's disease, which is an inner ear disorder, has some of the same symptoms that a brainstem stroke has. For years, I was experiencing TIAs in my brainstem. I have a birth anomaly in there I didn't know anything about. The way that my brainstem is built, I have, I should have brought over the doctor, the neurologist actually drew it out for me when I was in the hospital because I didn't understand what he was talking about. So in your brainstem, there is one specific artery that you get a lot of blood through, and there's arteries that feed into it, right? And on one side, I have an artery that does not touch that main one at all. I was born that way. And so I get blood flow backwards from my frontal carotid artery. we all said I was special and different. My brain has blood that goes backwards. And then on the other side, there's again another artery that feeds into this main one. The main artery is injured. So it's narrowed, it's not blocked, but I hit my head and had a concussion, and they believe that that is what injured the main artery that goes through your brainstem. It is 95% blocked. So because of all the other little things, I have a 5% opening for blood to move into my brainstem through this main artery. And so every single time that I would raise my heart rate, increase my blood pressure, that part was fine because there's enough blood and oxygen getting through my brain. But if I cooled down too fast, like if I worked out, this happened to me so many times, I would work out at the gym and it'd be great. And then I'd go lay down to stretch and cool off. And I would have a TIA. And I would get dizzy. I'd get this weird feeling. For me, it was on the left side of my face because of where it was affecting my brain. And I would have vertigo. I had horrible vertigo. I mean, at times I would just fall because I didn't know which way was up and down. And they diagnosed me with Meniere's for a very long time. They never looked at my brain or anything like that because I guess they didn't think about it. But when they looked at my brainstem when I had this stroke, we discovered that for 15 plus years, I was having TIAs in my brainstem. So when I tell you these symptoms, they're not one by themselves. The dizziness, the sensation in the face, the nausea and the vertigo all came together. So if you're a person who gets vertigo sometimes or gets dizzy sometimes, you have to have them all together. And if they're having trouble, perhaps diagnosing you, if you're having those symptoms together, you know, it's worth saying, hey, can you check out my brainstem and make sure everything is okay? So as scary as all of that was, it was an amazing, amazing discovery to find out what was actually going on, because now I understand how to manage myself. I'm a singer, you know, I perform. So yeah, do I get my heart rate up? I sure do. But I've learned to not just like sit down right afterwards. I've learned how to manage the condition in my brainstem. Sorry?
5 minutes.
Thank you. I'm almost done. We're good. Woohoo! So there's that part of it. If anybody has questions about it, I mean, there's lots of things to talk about the actual medical experience itself. But here's another thing I want to bring into the picture. I believe, and I know a lot of you here believe, that there is purpose in every single thing that happens in life. When I went back to the hospital the second time, I was put in a room on the neurology floor with this lady who was in her 80s. She'd had a stroke in her eye. And she was the most amazing woman. I was annoyed because the first time I went in, I had a room by myself. And I'm like, hey, like, can I get a room by myself? No, we're very full up here. So I got to be friends with this lovely lady. We both went for our femoral angiograms on the same day. And on that day, she got the bad news that they could not fix what the stroke had done in her eye. And now she was going to be blind. While we were in the hospital, her children all came. She made all the arrangements to move into a new place, give her card to her grandson, who was going to get her house, like all the stuff. This woman was like, all right, this is how it is now. And I sat in my bed like, holy cow, this woman is incredible. Well, the day that I was discharged from the hospital was on my birthday. That was my birthday present. I got to get out of the hospital. And I was sitting there And, I was still having small TIAs, just dizziness, stuff like that. That was pretty normal. And I was sitting there, my sister was with me. She was in the bathroom and I was waiting for them to bring the wheelchair and let me know my family had come to pick me up. And this lovely woman, I think she was like 84, she's sitting on her bed and she looks at me and she says, no. I'm like, what? And she said, I wanted to ask you to sing with me. And I said, of course I'll sing with you. Of course, I'm in the hospital. I just had a stroke and somebody wants to sing with me. Totally normal in my world. And I sit down on her bed next to her and she said, I don't know if my voice will work. I'm like, that's okay. My voice works. What do you want to sing? Amazing Grace. So I start singing Amazing Grace and we get to, I was blind, but now I see. And oh, my sister's in tears. The nurses are walking by, they're in tears. And she looks at me and she can't see very much anymore. She said, oh my goodness, I can't see your face, but I can see your heart. You're so beautiful. It was the most incredible thing to walk out of that hospital, giving as a gift and receiving as a gift. Oh, I still feel it now. After I left the hospital, I sent her a CD and she sent me a letter that she wrote herself. Her daughter said she gets cards all the time. And she tells me to throw them all out after she sees them, but not yours. We bought her a CD player for her new room. And she will never forget you. Thank you so much for helping my mom feel so much better about her life going forward. And I was like, oh my God, she did that for me. You just never know why things happen, what our purpose is in being where we are for both of us. She so inspired me by how she handled the news of what her life was now changing and going forward as, just as much as I loved on her with that song. How do I say, like, being in the hospital with a stroke was an extremely life-changing experience on so many levels. And when I got home from the hospital a few days later, I was in the shower, and then I'm done with my story here. I was in the shower and I was overcome. Now, when you have a stroke, it takes months to feel, you get very emotional. There's a lot of things that are going through your body and through your brain. And I remember standing in the shower and feeling gratitude for everything and everybody. It really did change. It changed everything. So yeah, if you have questions, let me know.
Oh, wow, that is absolutely amazing. You are amazing, Bridget. And, there's a big lesson in this, in all of our trials. There are triumphs because of the trials, the things that we're able to overcome. And the attitude of gratitude is everything. So thank you so much for your personal story. It's amazing, and you're a miracle, and you're here for a reason. And does anyone else have any questions or takeaways from her personal story that you would like to share? Maybe one or two people.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Not knowing anything about strokes, really, is there anything that people can do preventatively?
To not have a stroke?
Yes, or to, mitigate the severity of one, if you were to have one.
In my situation, I don't think there's a lot that you could do because I already had a condition in my brainstem and, hit my head. It was just that perfect storm. But you need to monitor your blood pressure, because high blood pressure is, it's pumping a lot of blood through your body, and it's it's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work for your heart and your arteries. And, you know, if you're not getting enough blood into your brain, you will have a stroke. You know, your brain needs oxygen, plain and simple. So you want to keep track of making sure that your blood pressure isn't too high. You know, keep tabs on your heart and pay attention to how your head feels. You know, do you feel off a lot? Do you find yourself feeling a little on the dizzy side? You want to check those things. You know, it may not be your brain, it may be other things, but yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there about stroke in general. Mine is a very different kind of stroke. But I think it's really important to make sure that, thank you for asking that question, because the one thing I wanted to make sure and say is this: if you get a diagnosis about something in your body and it doesn't feel right to you, go see someone else and say, this doesn't feel right, because it's not addressing these other aspects of what's going on. It's only doing one part of it. If something in your gut says, I don't know, that doesn't seem to jive, go to someone else, get all the tests, do the things. Because man, I went for over 15 years. I had TIAs 3 times a week sometimes. I'm a walking miracle that my brain is still working the way it is. So trust your gut. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent, excellent. And oh, that's just awesome. And I will reiterate what you said. I think about Janine, what's her name?
Janine Klon's Gritch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, what she went through when she told us her personal story several months ago. I think it may have been last year sometime. And when she talked about her personal story and she learned to become her own advocate, your body is your body and you know your body. And I believe it speaks to us. And being very careful when doctors are so quick to prescribe medicine to make you to deal with the surface instead of going deep and finding out what the root of the problem is. That is very important. And I just want to say that. And if the doctor is a pill pusher, you might want to get recommendations for someone who is really, really going to be an advocate for your health. So I'm literally in the process of doing that, getting another doctor, because if you can't get to the root and you're quick to prescribe medicine every time, find out what the root of the problem so you can fix it for good if you can. So thank you so much, Bridget. That was awesome. It was rich. And I love that you're a singer. Oh my God.
Enese's a singer as well. She's got her CDs too.
Yes, 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 because music soothes the soul. It heals in so many different ways. And so through what you were going through, you were able to help someone else heal emotionally and psychologically, if not physically. So that's wonderful. So this is a wonderful platform. And at this time, we're going to have a few testimonials. And we're going to ask just a few people to share with us how Gateway to Dreams has helped you, the connections and wonderful things that you have experienced through Gateway to Dreams that will probably help someone else make a decision to become a member and become a part of this long term. Anyone?
I will, since I wasn't able to be on for almost the whole entire thing. So I'm going to let you know that connecting and promoting women, you guys have been such an inspiration to me. I love just seeing I miss your guys' smiles because I've missed a lot of it just with what I'm doing with the business that I launched in January. So I am going to try my best to get on here. I had a wonderful face-to-face with Karen, and I really You guys mean so much, and I love hearing your stories. You make me cry every month, so I've missed you guys so much.
Great. Thank you, Tracy. Anyone else?
One of the
Tears.
things, one of the
Go on.
things that I would like to ask is when you think of Gateway, if you would think of the connections you've made, the heart of what we want is for people to make connections. And I do want to say, when Lady E shared this list of people that are now in her life, think about that as one of the things that we've created for you. Now, I do know with Bridget, we have a joke that Bridget, Gateway helped you with your coming out party in a way, about your gifts that you have. Can you hear me, Bridget?
I can hear you. I got kicked into another thing, but I've got you now.
Okay, but where she has some gifts that she was waiting to share with the world, and I kind of said, why wait? I don't exactly know what I said, but she said I helped her come out of the closet. So I love that.
You helped me come out of the energetic closet, which I'm going to have to run because now I'm doing it all the time. I have a client getting ready to walk in like 2 minutes. But thank you for that. You did. You were like, Bridget, you're an amazing singer, but I feel like you're hiding behind your singer, your music. You're going to do that. But like the energy stuff, oh my God, you need to get out and do it. And then I did.
I can be bossy like that sometimes. I don't mean to be, but.
No, you're just very, very firmly supportive and encouraging. How's that?
I'll take that. All
The
right.
networking mom.
Yes.
Thanks for making this call work. I know that the schedule got a little, mixed up this morning, sent me into a little bit of a panic, but it all worked out. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to share. I'm so appreciative and grateful for everybody in the room. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Bridget. And I just like to say again, I'm glad that was inspiring and really lifted you up, Karen, when I shared several months ago about the people that have become a very important part of my life. And I will say also about Gateway to Dreams, I'm literally just started a mastermind group last Thursday called the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth from the John Maxwell book. And two of the people that are part of this mastermind group, I met them through Gateway to Dreams. And I can tell you, I am eternally grateful because it was an answer to my prayer just to have divine connections, to connect with different people to get out of my box that I was in. And this has been a true blessing. And I can't even begin to tell you how much it's just blessed my life. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. So with that being said, I'm going to move forward. And Missy, thank you all for letting me practice on you to MC today. Missy's going to take it from here. I don't know who else is going to talk after that. I don't think I'm up after this.
You're done. Thank you for emceeing.
You did amazing, Anita.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to the board that supports Karen in all the endeavors that Gateway to Dreams puts out for this community. We have all of these amazing women, business women that give Karen endless support each month. Do you meet monthly, I think? And so, yes, so let's move on. These are our volunteers, and we always have plenty of opportunity to volunteer. So if anyone is interested in donating any time, please reach out to Karen or myself. We have added Mary Lee Salzer. She is the Director of Sponsorships and Memberships. If you'd like to assist her in growing this amazing community, please reach out to her. And finally, like all nonprofits, we are looking for support of all means. If you are interested in donating time, that is always good. We also need that financial support to keep Joy of Goals going, Write Your Book Right Now, and all the other amazing things. Building this magazine that Karen is launching here shortly. So here's our website to donate. And lastly, we always like to end with a inspirational closing quote. And this month is Little Girls with Dreams Become Women with Vision. And I think we have a ton of amazing women that are part of this community with fabulous vision. So, you know, I encourage you all to reach out to one another and see how you can help each other. So, Miss Tiffany?
So now we move into our Pookie song.
Yeah.
Karen, do we have any other people, this is their first time?
There was Linda Sutton, it's her first time.
My first time.
Cindy Fitzgerald, her first time. Christy, is Christy still on, right?
Mhm. Yep, she's still here.
Okay, I think it's your first time. Is Malika still on? But there were several first time people.
Great.
Angela?
Welcome all the newcomers.
Yes, I just wanted to make that observation because I saw some faces I've never seen before. And Etta, I think maybe it's been a long time since she's been on. I don't know Etta, but I'm sorry for butting in.
I don't think Etta's been on before.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm done.
So earlier I talked about a song that our friend Pookie Lee wrote. And when I heard it in 2014, it kind of blew me away, but I didn't know how to support a song. And so then I asked Pookie to sing it. When we do Joy of Goals once a year, I started asking her to sing it there. And then at the Gateway to Dreams, when we had CPW at the Business Lodge, she would sing it there. And hopefully you guys will fall in love with it. If not, maybe you'll like it. But it's about how we can make the world a better place. So I don't know who starts it, if it's Tiffany or, but somebody's going to start the song. We sing it out loud, but we are muted so you don't hear our voices. And then when the song is over, we hope that you have an amazing rest of your week and that you'll join us next month. We are not ready for face-to-face, but hopefully this summer we will. But June 23rd is the next Connecting and Promoting Women. Thank you. Let's sing.
Can everybody see the words on the screen? Okay, very good. All right, I'm going to start the song. Go ahead and mute yourself because otherwise Zoom will freak out with all of our microphones, but I will get the music going. You can still sing even if you're on mute. All right, have a great month, everybody.
Responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. Looking around the world, and what do I see? So many things in a state of need, pain and suffering all around me. I won't stand by and just let this be, 'cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible Everywhere, everyone wants to be free. Some look around and say, it's not me. How can they close their eyes and not see? It all comes down to me. Because I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. I'm reliable, accountable, dependable, invincible. I'm capable, incredible, responsible. 'Cause I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I say I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. I said I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible to leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. To leave the world a better place. Come on and leave the world a better place. Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Have a great month.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Angela, it's so fun dancing with you.